electrical energy into chemical energy is called as electrolysis. Oxidation only which is occurring. In cathode there is reduction only which is occurring, but the sign there is a difference compared to that. The amount of chemical reaction which occurs at any electrode during electrolysis, chemical equivalent of a substance is equal to the amount of substance deposited. Hello my dear students, welcome back to session 4 on the chapter electrochemistry. Last class we studied about the equilibrium constant from Nernst equation, also electrochemical cell and Gibbs free energy of a reaction relationship we learned. Also the effect of opposing potentials on the cell reaction we learned, and we also solved some of the numericals. Today we shall learn about the electrolytic cells. Okay, so what is a electrolytic cell? We learnt about electrochemical cells in which, because of the chemical reaction or the chemical energy is getting converted into electrical energy. Here it is just the opposite, where in a cell which converts electrical energy into a chemical energy is called as an electrolytic cell. That is, if you pass electric current, then the reaction will happen. Otherwise, it's a non-spontaneous reaction. So, you have to pass electric current for the reaction to occur. Okay. This process involved in conversion of electrical energy into chemical energy is called as electrolysis. You are passing electric current, because of which there is lysis, breakage which is happening. That is the reason we call it as electrolysis. To understand this better, we'll take an example of electrolytic cell in purification of copper. Okay. Now here we have taken a impure copper rod which is anode. Okay, which is connected to the positive terminal. Okay. Then there is a cathode which is made up of pure copper. Here it is the conventional method what you have learned. Anode is positively charged, cathode is negatively charged. Okay, but the reactions happening is same. In anode there is oxidation only which is occurring, in cathode there is reduction only which is occurring, but the sign there is a difference compared to that to the electrochemical cells. Okay, so here is anode is positively charged, cathode is negatively charged. And what is happening during the reaction? When electric current is passed through anode, the impure copper rod which we have, in that the copper atoms, okay, the solid copper will lose electrons and go into the solution as Cu+2 ions. Okay, and what will happen? Same, loss of electron is what? Oxidation only. Oxidation only is happening at anode. Loss of the electron and the formation of Cu+2 from the impure copper will happen. So, copper ions will go into the solution, and whatever impurities which is present will be going as the anode mud. It is called as the anode mud. Now, whatever copper is there, it started dissolving, correct? Impurities settled down and the copper has gone into the solution as Cu+2 ions and the electrons are lost. Now, what happens is, at cathode is with charge? Negatively charged. Copper ion is positively charged. So, it gets attracted towards the copper, that is the cathode, and Cu+2 ions will start moving here. They will accept electrons, okay, and it will start depositing here at cathode. So, the impure copper rod, from that all the copper ions alone will go and get attached on the cathode as solid copper. That is method in which you are removing the impurities, because from here when this rod is going on dissolving, impurities will be settled as impure anode mud. Only the copper will go and get collected as copper metal on the cathode. So pure copper is deposited at cathode. Now this reaction is happening only when you are passing electric current, and thus we call it as the electrolytic cell. Okay. So I hope you have understood the reaction here. What is happening at anode? Copper is getting dissolved to go into the solution as copper ion by losing electrons, correct? And the copper ions will accept electrons at cathode because they are attracted towards cathode. They accept electron there and get deposited as pure copper. Okay. So that's about the electrolytic cell. The reaction is happening only because you are passing electric current. Okay. Next is quantitative aspects of electrolysis. So under quantitative aspects, quantitative, you're finding out the quantity here. Okay, that's why we call it as quantitative aspects of electrolysis. Under this you're learning two laws, that is Faraday's law of electrolysis. First one is Faraday's first law of electrolysis. Okay, what does this law exactly tell? I'll read the statement and I shall explain it to you all. Okay, the amount of chemical reaction which occurs at any electrode during electrolysis by the current is proportional to quantity of electricity passed through the electrolyte. Or there is one more statement which you can write, any one is okay. The mass of a substance liberated or deposited or dissolved at an electrode during electrolysis is directly proportional to quantity of electricity passed through the electrolytic solution or the melt. So what is it? When electrolysis is happening, the amount of or the mass of the substance, which is, it can be dissolved or it can be liberated or it can be deposited, is directly proportional to amount of electric current which you are passing through the solution. So to understand this, I'll take an example. Okay, same example we can take or a different example. This is my anode, this is my cathode. Okay, or I can show the connection also, no problem. And electrolysis is happening. For example, something is getting deposited and this is Q grams at cathode. Okay, so if Q grams of substance gets liberated on any particular electrode, it can be anode or cathode. Okay, on passing a current of I ampere for T seconds, then we can write according to Faraday's first law, that is the mass of amount of substance liberated, deposited from a particular electrode during electrolysis is equal to the amount of electric current passed through the solution. This is the law. So the amount of substance is proportional to the electric current which was passed. So it was I amperes were passed for T seconds. So I into T. To remove the proportionality, we put a constant called as Z. And Z is called as the electrochemical equivalent of a substance. So, we can tell that the electrochemical equivalent is the amount of substance deposited by 1 ampere current by passing for 1 second. That is, if I take Q is equal to ZIT, correct? When 1 ampere current is passed for 1 second, then Q will be equal to Z. Correct? Q is equal to Z. So I can tell that electrochemical equivalent of a substance is equal to the amount of substance deposited when 1 ampere current is passed for 1 second. Okay. So that is the definition for ECE, that is electrochemical equivalent. So I hope you have understood the Faraday's first law. If they ask you the law, you have to write the law and write also the mathematical form, that is Q is equal to Z into IT. Okay. Going further with this particular law, the amount of electricity which is required for an oxidation or reduction reaction depends on the stoichiometry of the electrode reaction. Now for example, I am taking Ag is accepting an electron to form Ag. So what is it? Ag plus ion, silver ion, is taking up one electron to form silver atom. Okay. So 1 mole of electron is required for this reaction. Correct? No? Only 1 mole of electron is required for the reaction to deposit 1 mole of silver. That is, I can also tell it as 1 mole of silver ions takes up 1 mole of electrons to give 1 mole of silver atoms. Correct? Now, we know that the charge on the electron, what is the charge on the electron? It is equal to 1.6021 into 10 power minus 19 coulombs. So, for 1 mole of electrons means charge on 1 electron only is that. So, for 1 mole of electron, what is the charge? So, C is equal to 1 mole of electron means 6.022 in 10 power 23. Correct? Into the charge, that is 1.6021 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. You multiply this, you will get the answer as 96487 coulomb per mole. That is the charge on 1 mole of electron. Is it correct? What is this? This is the charge on 1 mole of electron, and this quantity of electricity is called as Faraday, and it is represented by the symbol F, capital letter F. Okay. So therefore, Faraday is defined as the total charge carried by 1 mole of electron, and for our convenience, it is difficult to remember 96487 coulomb per mole. We can take it as a round figure, 96,500 coulomb. So 1 Faraday is equal to 96,500 coulomb per mole. It is the amount of charge carried by 1 mole of electron. Now, once you have understood this, you can also understand the other things like the quantity of electricity needed to deposit 1 mole of substance is given by the expression N into F. Okay. So, the quantity of electricity required is N into F, where N is the valency of the ions. So, for example, for valency of this ion was +1. So, the amount of electricity which is required to deposit 1 mole of Ag atoms, okay, 1 mole of Ag is 1 into F, 1 Faraday is required. So, to deposit copper, 1 mole of copper from Cu plus 2 ions, I require 2 Faraday. Why? The valency is 2. Same way, to deposit 1 mole of aluminium from aluminium ions, I require 3 Faraday of electricity because the valency is 3 here. Okay. So, the amount or quantity of electricity required to deposit the metals from its ions is equal to N into F. N is the valency of the ions and F is the Faraday, that is 1 Faraday is equal to 96,500 coulomb per mole. Okay. So, I hope you have understood this, and this is a very important 1 mark question for your exams. Okay. So, that's about the Faraday's first law. So, Faraday's first law, you learned the law, you have learned about the mathematical form, you also learnt about the electrochemical equivalent, what is the meaning of that. Then you also learnt what is 1 Faraday, that is for depositing 1 mole of a substance we will require n number of moles of electric charge, that is the electrons, and we have calculated the charge on 1 mole of electron and we called it as 1 Faraday, and then we have learnt about the quantity of electricity. Okay. Next we have Faraday's second law. So, I'll just read the statement for you all. The amount of different substances liberated by the same quantity of electricity passing through the electrolytic solution are proportional to their chemical equivalent weights. Now, atomic mass of the metal divided by number of electrons required to reduce the cation is giving the equivalent weight. Okay. Or I can tell atomic mass by valency is equal to the equivalent mass. Okay. Or one more statement is, it states that when the same amount of electricity is passed through the different electrolytic solution, the mass of substance deposited or liberated at the electrode is directly proportional to their equivalent mass. For example, if I take two solutions of copper sulfate and H2SO4, copper sulfate and sulfuric acid I am taking, I am connecting it in series, okay. One is cathode, one is anode. I am passing same amount of electric current to both. So in one we have copper which is getting deposited, the other one hydrogen gas is liberated. So what I can tell is, the mass of copper deposited by the volume of hydrogen gas liberated is equal to equivalent mass of copper by equivalent mass of hydrogen. Or I can tell, if W1 is the mass of first substance at one electrode, W2 is the mass of the second substance at the second electrolytic solution, is equal to E1 and E2, that is their equivalent masses. Or according to this example, I can also write it as mass of copper deposited by mass of hydrogen liberated is equal to equivalent mass of copper by equivalent mass of hydrogen. Okay. So this is one way of writing. One more example I shall take and explain. That is, for example, we have taken copper sulfate and we have taken silver nitrate solution. Okay. And we are passing current, same amount of current because it's connected in series, same amount of current we are passing. So it is found that M1 by M2 is equal to E1 by E2, where E1 and E2 are the chemical equivalents of copper and silver. Okay. So if we consider here, copper deposited mass is M1 and the amount of silver deposited is M2. That means the mass of copper deposited by the mass of silver deposited is equal to equivalent mass of the copper by equivalent mass of silver. Okay. So this is Faraday's second law. Next, we'll do some of the numericals based on Faraday's law. Okay. First problem. What current strength in ampere will be required to liberate 10 grams of chlorine of sodium chloride solution in 1 hour? So if I take sodium chloride solution, NaCl, I'll have Na plus ions and Cl minus ion. When I pass electric current to that, Na plus will accept electron to become Na and Cl minus will give away electrons, okay, to form Cl2. So I require 2 Cl minus. So what happens? The amount of current which is required, that is 2 Faraday, because 2 electrons are there. So 2 Faraday of current is required for liberating 1 mole of chlorine. Now what is the mass of 1 mole of chlorine? See, what I require the current strength in ampere to liberate 10 grams of chlorine. So I have to give it in grams, not in moles. So 2 Faraday of current is required to liberate 2 into 35.5 grams. 2 Faraday requires 2 into 35.5 grams to liberate so much chlorine. Now, I want only 10 grams of chlorine. I don't want so much grams of chlorine. What is the amount of current which is required? So, Q is equal to 10 into 2 into 96,500 divided by 2 into 35.5. So, 2 and 2 gets cancelled. You will get the answer as 27183.09. Okay, this is so many coulombs. Now I want the current in ampere. I know Q is equal to IT. So I is equal to Q by T. Q value I have in coulombs 27183.09 and T is in seconds, but I want for 1 hour. See here, they've given for 1 hour. Okay, so 60 into 60. 1 hour has got 60 minutes. 60 minutes, each minute is 60 seconds. So 60 into 60 we have to do. Now what is the answer we are going to get from here? We'll get the answer as 7.55 amperes. So I hope you have understood how to solve this problem. We'll go to the next one. A solution of copper sulfate is electrolyzed for 10 minutes with a current of 1.5 ampere. What is the mass of copper deposited at cathode? So what is given here in the problem? A solution of copper sulfate is electrolyzed for 10 minutes. 10 minutes time is given and I is given as 1.5 ampere. We have to calculate the mass of copper deposited at cathode. First, we'll find out Q. Q is equal to IT. So, I is 1.5. T is 10 minutes, but I want it in seconds. So, 10 into 60 we need to do. Correct? So, this will be equal to 900 coulomb. Now, copper Cu plus 2 ions accepts 2 electrons to get deposited as copper. So, 2 Faraday is required for 1 mole. That is, 2 Faraday is required to deposit 63.5 grams of copper. That is the atomic mass of copper. Okay. Now, I have 900 coulomb. What is the mass of copper which is deposited? So, the mass of copper deposited is 900 into 63.5 divided by 2 into 96,500, because every Faraday is equal to 96,500, isn't it? If we solve this, we'll get it as 0.2961 grams. So this is the mass of copper which is deposited. Okay. So I hope you have understood both the problems. Next class we will do the products of electrolysis and conductance of electrolytic solution. So thank you my dear children. Stay tuned, stay focused.